All right, let's do this.
Commence primary ignition.
For Thursday, December 24th, 2020, it's the Serenno Squadcast, the official podcast of the Serenno Squad.
Just the holiday remix edition.
Yeah, do some sleigh bells in there. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the podcast, Squadcast. This episode is the last episode of the year. It's also going to be the last weekly Mandalorian episode. So we'll be going back
until we get something else to talk about.
That's right, yeah. But we'll be going back to the bi-weekly episodes. So it was fun while it lasted, but we still got a whole show to do tonight. So
yeah, I have a feeling starting about a year from now, we're going to have nonstop back-to-back Star Wars to talk about for a good long while.
Yeah, we went over the whoa, that is loud, Wayne. that's like chalk, fingernails on the chalkboard.
I guess you found those files there, Wayne.
No, I bought some more.
Oh, nice.
I'll do this. You guys just talk to me. I'm going to mute it.
Excellent.
You won't be able to hear it, but you'll be able to see it. Ask me a question, I'll unmute. Unless that,
This is
I'll
like
be doing this.
This is like a actual Zoom conference. That's usually what they tell you before you start. There we go. For all the for all the listeners, Wayne is having a fit. I don't even know, but you can't hear him, so it's okay.
That's fine.
So this week we don't really have too much news as far as the Legion goes, other than
it continues to exist.
Then we're still here, and
yeah, I don't think I've posted an approval, have I? It was just that First Order Snowtrooper.
No, there was no approvals, but the most recent post that you had was one of Jeremy Bullock, aka Boba Fett, and he had recently passed away.
That was a bummer.
Yeah. And in the height of Mando season. I mean,
yeah,
it makes you really think. It's kind of sad. Then again, it's like, at least he got to hopefully he got a chance to see the Boba come back in his glory.
It makes me do one of these for sure.
Buckets off.
Yeah, the Jeremy Bullock news hit me a little harder than I expected. It's just the day it happened, I was scrolling through social media and just seeing, when you're friends with a bunch of Legion people and people in this community, everyone had a really good story to tell about him. He was the absolute perfect English gentleman. There was countless stories of people who met him like once at a con, and then they would see him like a year or two later. He would still remember them.
Wow. So he really appreciated the fans.
Yes. I would say he was so nice, you almost think he was making fun of you.
Oh, one of those guys. It's like, wait, is he messing with me?
Yeah, you're like, nobody's supposed to be that nice. That doesn't happen. But no, he was genuine and good.
Nice. And he was he kind of like David, where he was an honorary 501st member, or
yes,
he wasn't just honorary, he was a member. He had a TKID.
Wow, so he loved it. He lived it, basically.
Yeah, he somebody actually made him a proper set of Boba Fett armor. So he had a full-fledged Boba Fett costume, and he would wear it out.
Yeah, it's just $4,000 just to throw at somebody. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but you're not throwing it at anybody. You're throwing it at the man.
That's true. Yeah. I don't think there's anyone on this earth that I would throw $4,000 at. But hey, somebody did
it. God bless him. But yeah, that was really sad to hear. So I thought we'd take a moment to remember him and all that he's, helped kind of create. I mean, it is the probably the hottest thing right now in Star Wars is Boba Fett, man. He's back. And like
I don't think Boba Fett would have been Boba Fett without that iconic sort of swagger that Jeremy Bullock put into the character in Empire Strikes Back. Like it's just, and even in the other movies like Return of the Jedi, you don't get that same feel. But Empire Strikes Back, watching him walk through the halls in Bespin, I mean, that's just that's it. And then him standing next to Vader in the carbonite chamber. Yeah. Iconic.
We were trying to remember it the other day when we were talking about it. I know Empire Strikes Back is like 90% Jeremy Bullock. I think there might be like one shot that's not him. But in Return of the Jedi, it gets confusing because the special edition stuff is not him. So any of the scenes that were added in 97, it's a mixture of a couple different guys. But he is in there. I think he's doing some of the stuff in the Sarlacc battle. It gets confusing because people in current day don't look like they did in 1983, so you can't tell by the old pictures.
Right. That's really interesting, though. I thought that he was. I didn't know that there were so many different Bobas. Makes sense though for the special editions.
He did do a couple of roles with his helmet off. In Empire Strikes Back, he's the Imperial officer who grabs Leia as Luke's coming up, and she's yelling, "It's a trap." That's him.
Oh, okay.
And in Revenge of the Sith, he's Bail Organa's pilot as they return back to Coruscant after Order 66.
I don't think I realized that was him.
Wow, that's cool.
I gotta look it up.
Because remember when that was the last Star Wars movie?
Remember when Episode 6 was the last Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Never again. No, it's Star Wars is still alive and killing it.
Outlive us all.
Yeah.
It's true.
Who'd have thunk it?
Let's see. He was Captain Colton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's not the dude. He's not the dude that Bail Organa was walking with in the hallway.
No, it's just the scene of them. So after Order 66 happens, they pick up Obi-Wan and Yoda. They're in the cockpit as they fly back to Coruscant, and Bail gets the message about, they need to be at the Senate. He's the pilot.
It's a sharp-looking outfit. I'm looking at a picture of him right now.
You got to keep up with Bail. He's a fancy dresser.
That's true. I love Bail in Episode 3, like at the end, and then when he shows up again in Rogue One, I love his look in Rogue One, especially because he has kind of like that half cape that goes across him.
Yeah,
the sash. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was just watching Attack of the Clones. Old Bail, he was standing up there at the end. Hannah was like, we were kind of watching of it. She was like, "So are all those bad guys?" I'm like, "No, they're all senators, but Palpatine."
She's watching the movie for the first time, like you were probably.
Yes, it was the first time actually. No.
Yes, that's what it was. She asked, "Are they all bad guys?" I don't know. This is the first time I've seen it too.
Shh, I'm trying to watch.
That's my favorite running joke of the podcast is that Gunnar has never seen Star Wars.
Yeah, well, it's it's still running. I still haven't seen it all, but
one day
I think I'm a fan. I mean, other than that, I don't think we have that much as far as Legion news. But that could have been considered Legion news for sure. Just skip the music. But anyways, going on into our next segment. Top story.
Excuse me, that's the wrong franchise.
I think I don't care.
Yeah, so we have the final chapter of The Mandalorian Season 2.
Yes.
They have already announced Season 3 was in the works, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They'd already said they were working on Season 3 before I think Season 2 had even aired.
Right. Cool. So that's encouraging for any of you who have already seen the episode. This is the final chapter of this season, but it is setting it up to kind of be, I don't even know what this episode or what next season could possibly be. I guess we got to go over the episode itself first. But the opening scene, which was pretty awesome, the kind of dogfight looking scene of the slave chasing after the shuttle.
Slave one.
Slave one. Oh my god.
Sorry, when you say it the other way, it sounds like you're describing something completely different.
Yeah. I guess the slave one, as it's chasing after the Imperial shuttle there. You get a glimpse of the scientist who's there that we saw in the first season, accompanied by 2 pilots, and I guess pretty quickly they get disarmed by like an ion cannon.
Yeah, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. He didn't. I didn't know how he was gonna. I thought he might shoot a wing or something. I don't know what was gonna happen, but that seemed to be the trick. And so they get up on board, and you have a standoff there with with one of the pilots. He gets a little hostile after the scientist mentions that the child is on a cruiser, I think he says. And that's when the other co-pilot's like, I'm not with this guy. And he ends up shooting him in the back of the head. Pretty
That
surprising.
is my favorite, one of my favorite on-screen deaths now. I have watched that 40 times because I have never, ever seen anybody in TV or movies get shot and die by saying,
Yeah, it was brutal. But
far from it. It was hilarious.
I miss that. I miss the but the guy gets shot. I get
Whimpering death you've ever heard.
I guess he whimpers really bad.
Okay, that's making.
Have you ever been shot in the back of the head with a blaster?
Shot in the back of the head. He just gets shot in the back.
Oh, well.
It's somewhere like the back of the head, it's the upper area.
Let's say it's fatal. Because
Oh yeah, definitely fatal.
it was. And
If he's alive, he ain't happy.
and then
Oh no, he ain't happy because nobody happy says.
So then you have a standoff there with Kara and the pilot who mentions that he not only can see her rebel teardrop, but that he witnessed the death of her planet, Alderaan, by the Death Star.
That was just
Wasn't a
rude.
rebel tier. It's an Alderanian tier.
Was it?
Well, it's the rebels' symbol. So I
Whatever.
guess it's a thing that like the Alderanians have adopted or something. She has signs on her that indicate she was from Alderaan. Which I think is kind of cool that like all the Alderaan survivors have kind of done like a mark of remembrance or something.
Yeah, they branded themselves. But yeah, it was pretty fierce there though, because she cracks a joke about which Death Star, like first one, second one, and he mentions like you get a different perspective on the of blowing up the Death Star. To her it was, or to all the rebels in the galaxy, they all cheered, while millions of people were ultimately killed on those bases.
Kevin Smith fan, it's not new to you.
It kind of reminded
right.
me of the if you've read the book Lost Stars, which is really, really good. There's a chapter in it that takes place on the Death Star. And so you get to meet these characters, and they're all Imperials, and they're serving on the Death Star. And then the next chapter is the Death Star blows up. And so you're like, oh, all these characters that I've gotten to know and actually like, I just watched them all die. It's like, the Death Star explosion has never been more emotional.
Wow.
True. That was a good book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was also awesome scene there in the movie, in the show, super intense, and it ends with Kara ultimately shooting dude in the face. He had
grazed Pershing.
Yeah, he probably lost or busted an eardrum in the process, but he was being held at gunpoint, so I'm sure he's okay. Yeah, and she just shrugged it off like it was nothing. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So then I guess what happens then? Who wants to jump in and take over now?
So they take him back aboard Slave One, and he just like starts spilling the beans on everything. So he tells them like where the ship is, where they can go find the little baby.
Where the dark troopers are.
Yeah, he tells them all about the dark troopers. So they come up with their plan to storm the castle and save the baby.
Yes, a daring plan indeed. So finally get there. Well, no, not that. Their plan is to jump from hyperspace, or what does Boba call it? Jump space.
That was a little weird.
I liked it.
We skipped over a scene with where Mando
yes,
and Boba,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yes, go ahead.
they go meet up with they go find Bo-Katan, and they recruit her, which her face off with Boba Fett was great, where she's calling him a clone and says, "It's not your father, it's your donor."
She's heard that voice 1,000 times before.
Which I realized the last time we saw her, well, sort of, she was on Mandalore during the Siege of Mandalore. There's a whole bunch of Republic troops that got left behind, and Order 66 was like 5 minutes later. So more than likely, she has spent a lot of time fighting clones.
Right.
So she probably doesn't have any love for them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's little love left for the clones, which is, I mean, even the clones themselves probably, I mean, all the clones that executed Order 66 are probably dead by this point. And it's probably,
yeah.
And it's probably only the ones that removed their chips that were, I guess, they didn't have, it was before it ever was executed, I guess. So were there some people, some clones that that actually did have the chip in still while the order was executed and didn't follow the order?
As far as we know, nobody declined the order.
Gotcha. So if you had that chip, you executed the order, and then if not, you made it.
Also, we know the clones who didn't, if for any reason they didn't execute the order, they were branded as traitors and they were hunted down by the clones. Because that's what happened to Rex. That's why they were all hunting after him.
Right. And as far as we know, Rex is still alive, and none of our canon has Rex ever died.
He's alive as of the Battle of Endor. We know that much.
Okay, because he has been recanonized as the old man at the Rebel base. No, is that not the thing?
That has never been officially stated.
Oh, that's not official. That was just something we talked about once, I guess.
It's a fan theory. It is canon that Rex was at the Battle of Endor. We don't know where.
Wait, was that even Endor, or was that the moon?
Well, it's the moon of Endor. It's the Endor moon of Endor in the Endor system.
Endor.
Say Endor one more time, I dare you.
Well, we visited 2 moons in the Endor system, so you have to specify now.
Right.
Yeah.
Is Yavin in the Endor system? Am I crazy?
No.
It's in the Yavin system.
Right. Star Wars. Got it. All right. So we've got they've settled their differences after a little scuttle.
With an awesome fight.
Yeah, it was more than a scuttle. It was definitely a match, a face-off between. I can't remember the other Mandalorian's name.
Cannot remember her name.
But she is bad. She is.
All I want to say is she's Sasha Banks. That's all I know.
Okay, that's her. I think.
If you're a wrestler, if you're a wrestling fan, that's who she is.
Okay.
Are you a wrestling fan, Paul?
No.
Whatever, you know. But yeah, they end up. She just says that Gideon is hers, basically.
Yeah.
That's the dealio. And she might have mentioned the dark saber.
No, she hadn't mentioned it yet at this point.
Okay.
She said like her qualification for coming is Gideon is hers.
Mm-hmm.
No one else can touch him.
And we'll find out why later.
Yes.
But that is when they decide, they come up with their plan. They're going to jump to the coordinates that they got from the base there on, I do not remember the planet that they were back on with.
I don't know if that planet ever got a name.
Yeah, well, they use those codes.
One naming planets.
They jump there, and they plan on using the shuttle as a disguise, I guess, like in distress, and Boba Fett's gonna come a blasting after him, make it look like there's a big chase, and try to get on board.
Casca Reeves.
Ah, there we go.
The character's name is Casca Reeves.
Casca.
Yeah.
All right.
I love
wonder
Boba
why-
Fett's email.
I wonder why we didn't see the male Mandalorian from episode 3.
He's doing something.
Yeah, he's maintaining the other ship that they got. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's doing a thing.
Or maybe they were just having like a girls' night out or something like that.
That's true.
Just,
And then
they were just hanging out when they were, he just wasn't there. I don't know. So they jump, they come a blasting. They're trying to get like clearance. They're trying to land. They're saying that they're being attacked, and they're trying to land on the cruiser. However, they're trying to launch the TIE fighters from the launch tube. First time
I love the little Battlestar Galactica style launching of the TIE fighters.
yeah,
It was cool. It was very cool, especially the point of view sitting there in the cockpit and just great. It reminds me of a roller coaster. They come flying out of there, and they're telling them avoid the launch tube, stay out of the way because we're sending TIE fighters out, and I think they get like 2 out before they start holding them back up, and that's when the shuttle comes in hot, and they make their landing.
Yeah, because then they block the tube so that nothing else can get launched.
Right.
I was thinking they were going to shear the wings off when they flew in.
Yeah, it's what I thought was going to happen too.
Just barely made it. They did lose the landing gear, however.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, they skid in there.
I love Boba Fett's little line. She says, "Watch where you're shooting." And he says, "I'll be careful, princess," or something like that.
Yeah. Well, she does want to be the princess or ruler.
She doesn't want to be princess. She must be queen.
Queen.
Empress.
Empress.
Mandalore.
She wants to be the Mandalore.
Yes.
Cool.
The Mandalore of Mandalore.
The Mandalore of Mandalore.
If you're spelling it out, it's Manda, Manda apostrophe Lor.
Oh.
So the Mandalore is the title of the ruler of the planet Mandalore.
But
And
Dean
the
Martin,
Mandalorians.
No
but what
apostrophe.
Dean Martin sang about was Mandalore apostrophe, because it was the Mandalore.
Okay.
Thing.
I'm not familiar with that
Oh
one.
yeah, you gotta know your Dean Martin.
I don't.
The
Shame.
70-year-old Star Wars fans really got a kick out of that joke.
There you go, everybody. So yeah, they some of the stormtroopers are like, "What are you doing? Get that thing out of here!" It's like it's too late. They come blasting off the ship, and
Them exiting the shuttle and just tearing people apart is great. The like there's the one trooper that she grabs with the rope and pulls, and the other one uses the jetpack to jump up. I loved the way they used the combat and the jetpacks and all the little gadgets and everything was just awesome.
yeah, the Mandalorians fight totally different. They're like special ops almost. Like
Yeah.
they're just using every bell and whistle that they got, and they got lots. It's like they got something for every situation. They're like, we're never gonna get caught. We're never gonna lose. We're never gonna back down. That's what that's like what I'm getting from them. Ooh, it's a nice nice handpiece there. Wayne's working on some more armor.
Aren't those hand plates normally curved?
What?
No, they're flat.
Really?
Yeah. Clone ones are more or less flat.
It's like a little bit of an angle. Yeah, exactly. It's flat on one side and an angle on the other. It's exactly
Interesting.
It looks kind of like a little door hinge. But yep, it's looking good. Looking good. How many times can I say this episode?
Let's keep count.
I don't know.
I think I'm on like 70 something. I don't know. So where are we? We become storming. That's when Gideon's like, get the dark troopers ready, baby.
Get the rev up the dubstep.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow. That's the first time. And that takes me to the those episodes of I guess it was the making of the Mandalorian, where they had the composer talking about all the different instruments, all the different scores that he came up with, and how he used a super rare, super old synthesizer from the 70s to make all that dubstep synthesized sounds. And they're sounds that can only be made from that machine. There's no other software or anything that has those sounds downloaded on there. So it's like totally organic, totally new. And it sounds better than what I would call traditional dubstep. It just sounded like really intense, like a score, not so much like music. But
it's the first time anyone's heard dubstep since 2013.
Exactly.
It was refreshing.
Yeah.
The
good.
The soundtrack for season 2 is up online on any like Spotify and all those. The track is called Troopers. That is just that music. It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed in we'll talk about it later on, but part of the soundtrack that I thought they should have included when a certain character showed up, they didn't include it at all, and I was very disappointed in the soundtrack in that scene.
Interesting, because I think I know what you're talking about, and I thought that there was.
If it was, it was very, very subtle, and I wanted it to be more. I wanted it to be the theme, like the.
You wanted it to punch you in the face.
We'll get there.
I wanted to hear the whatever you call like Power of the Force or whatever that theme is.
Is that Power of the Force? They had their own theme song.
I don't know what the theme. I don't get.
I'm thinking of the action figures. Yeah. So they're at some point
they're storming through the ship, basically just ripping everybody apart.
Heading to the bridge.
Yeah, they're heading to the bridge as more or less a distraction, as Mando is heading down to the brig to go get the baby. He's trying to stop the troopers and rescue Grogu.
And I believe that Bo-Katan believes that Gideon is at the bridge, and she's hoping that that's where he'll be. At least that's what I think we find out. When eventually, I think before any of the troopers get loose, Mando steps off the shuttle, and makes his way towards the brig. And
he's moving in the shadows, trying to be quiet and let them make all the noise.
Right. And eventually gets there to the brig. And, of course, Gideon is there with baby Grogu. Can we call Grogu Baby Grogu, like Baby Yoda anymore? Like, is he
Call him whatever you want.
Baby Grogu?
He's not
Like
here. He
Sweet
won't
baby
know.
Jesus, sweet baby Grogu.
Kylo killed him, so it doesn't matter. He's dead.
No, that is no one wants to hear that. So
Wayne does.
we find that Gideon's there with the Darksaber, just hovering over the child.
Which I liked I like Gideon because he's smart. He knows what's going on. He sees them coming and he's like, okay, well, I know what they're coming for, so I'm not going to hang out on the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down. So he's ahead of them. And I love when he says, just assume I know everything.
Yeah. Because he does.
Yeah. He's ISB, which means basically he's the Star Wars equivalent of like a CIA operative or something,
Yeah.
If there's anything that needs to be known, he knows.
Yeah.
Especially
he's smart and competent, which is a rarity for Star Wars villains.
true.
Especially Imperial officers. They tend to be stupid bullies who
Right.
get bested very easily.
Yep. Like the guy from the previous episode that Bill Burr's character killed.
Yeah. Like
Sure.
that guy.
Exactly. Very arrogant and just a douchebag, if you will,
Pretty much, yeah.
for lack of a better word. So he tells him he knows everything, assume he knows everything. And that's where you start to think, well, what's going on here? It looks like he genuinely doesn't want the child. He got all he needs. He says, I just wanted his blood. I just wanted to research it. I got what I need. You can take the baby. You can take the child. And then, of course, he can't just let it go like that. And he pulls out the Darksaber and starts another epic battle with the Mandalorian.
Yes. With the conveniently provided Darksaber proof spear.
Good thing you carried that on board. Yeah, you noticed that he had it coming off the shuttle.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
he
lost his,
lose his long rifle when the ship exploded?
presumably.
I didn't even think
We haven't
about
seen
that.
it since.
I didn't even think about that, but it has to be gone. Unless he had it on his back, slung on his back when it blew up.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's sad. That reminds me, though, of that story you were telling about, or maybe it was just something we saw on Disney Plus where,
Maybe I dreamt it.
yeah, maybe I just made it up right now.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe. Where, shucks, now I really lost it. Where, I think it wasn't Dave Filoni, I don't think. It wasn't Dave Filoni. No, it was Jon Favreau who brought back the Christmas special Mandalorian rifle, right? And he had George Lucas on set, and he's like, "Hey, look, I made that rifle from your Christmas special." And he's like, "I had nothing to do with that." So, like, the gun blowing up with the Razor Crest probably means nothing to George Lucas. He's like, "I don't care."
I doubt most of it means anything to George Lucas at this point. Let's be honest.
After Jon Favreau heard that from George Lucas, he was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna blow it up."
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. It just didn't work out the way he thought it would, but still, that was a beautiful thing to see on screen. That rifle, holy cow!
Yeah,
because
I
a
hope
lot.
something like it comes back.
Yeah, and that one's different than a lot of the other Star Wars blasters and weaponry, which were all used from surplus World War II guns and parts and stuff like that. This was a cartoon. It was just sketched out and poorly sketched out. There was not that much detail. It was just the shape, and they somehow
Somebody that worked on it was all like, "Hey,
Yeah, they're
Well,
listening right now.
I saw a breakdown on it was one of the Mandalorian Facebook groups that I'm on. Someone broke down the big long gun, whatever it's called, and it looks like it was actually based on. It looked like a 22 caliber small bolt action rifle, just
Right.
one you can buy at any Walmart. Well, you used to be able to. I don't know if you can anymore, but it looked like they basically chopped the stock off and put a new stock on it, took the scope off, and then elongated the barrel and put all the greebies on it.
So they
Yeah.
still kind of use that, Star Wars technique of existing, something that already exists in the universe and then applying towards something else. So I guess they probably had that sketched out little drawing and they're like, all right, let's go through and do the same thing that they did back then and make it look awesome. And it does. I love that rifle. But anyways, that rifle is gone. And so is the Razor Crest, and so was that episode. So we're back. We've got a face-off with Gideon.
Yeah, so Gideon and Mando are fighting, and that was a pretty impressive fight considering none of them are what I would call like experts.
Yep.
It's not like watching the Jedi or the prequels or anything like that, but these guys knew what they were doing enough to put up a good fight. Mando's got some good moves with the spear.
Yep. And
Pedro
Gideon,
Pascal remembered to wear a helmet this time.
oh, yeah. Didn't get his head crushed in, right?
No, he almost did with the droid just punching
gosh.
him.
That is true. Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet, but yeah. So now hold on. No, he faced off with the Dark Troopers before he got to Gideon.
Yep.
Yes,
We skipped that.
because it's great. He runs up right as the door is opening, and he has like, oh crap!
Yeah. And he cleverly drops a bunch of them out into space with the whatever you call that, except for the one that obviously made it through. But
He
Yeah,
forgot to. He forgot they had jets on their boots.
yeah, and I knew that when they flew out. I was like, they're robots. They're gonna, But
I like how the one that still got through when he fought it, he set it on fire, and I saw a meme, and it was like the Dark Trooper's like, I'm fine, I just look cooler now, and because it's all on fire and it's just totally fine.
Yeah, wasn't that cool because then he, ended up getting
It took quite a bit for him to take out that droid. So
Yeah, I was like, if he's having trouble with this one, if the rest of these come back, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for the neck. That was the only move that worked. But so he fights off with them, and then he gets to Gideon. That's where he's like, you already fought with one, and that was enough. And then they have their little face-off, and Mando basically gets him to yield. And he mentions like, oh, you're going to let me live. This should be interesting. So he knows he knows something.
he knows what's going on. He knows who's boarding his ship.
Yeah. Once again, he assumed that he knows everything.
Yeah.
And I believe at that point, he escorts.
Then we cut to the other group who has basically stormed the bridge at this point and executed everybody.
Yes, really. I mean, that was one thing I was thinking of as it was happening. I was like, they are killing everybody. There is nobody left on this whole entire ship.
Yep.
And, we get there, and Bo-Katan looks, everybody gets back to the bridge. Mando, Baby Yoda, Gideon, and Bo-Katan looks pretty upset. And she's like, what happened? And
I mean, if she would have been upfront with him at the beginning, like, hey, this is why I want him, because she specified that she wanted him alive. But if she would have said why she needed him alive, or if she would have given some more details, I mean, this is purely her fault.
All she said was, he must surrender to me. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Technically, after we find out what is supposed to happen, yes, that is surrendering to her. But in combat, that's a whole different thing. So Gideon can tell that she's upset and says, why don't you tell him?
So nobody else has a problem with this rule that's all of a sudden convenient?
It's theory that I have, and I've seen several people with the same thoughts. So the issue is she wanted to fight Gideon so that she could earn back the Darksaber. And as a rite of combat, you best your opponent, therefore you are able to wield the weapon. It's Excalibur, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's sword in the stone.
Yeah. The last time we saw her and last time we saw the Darksaber was the end of Rebels. In Rebels, Sabine wins the Darksaber. She gets it. She wins it in combat. And instead of using it to rule, she gives it to Sabine, kind of like Mando wanted to here. Sabine takes it, or not Sabine, Bo-Katan takes it and uses this as a way to unite the clans and fight the Empire. Presumably, we know what happens next is the Empire comes back and turns the planet to glass, as Boba Fett so aptly described.
Yes.
The thought that I had, and I've seen others with it too, is either because she failed or Moff Gideon beat her personally and took the saber, her just taking the saber, not actually winning it, didn't give her, or at least she felt like it didn't give her the full rights.
Right.
That maybe some of the clans didn't follow her because they felt like, oh, you're just a pretender. You didn't earn the right to be the ruler. You didn't earn the right to wield that saber and everything that it entails. So therefore, they didn't all work together.
And they're a warrior culture, so
yeah.
It's kind of like the Spartans, It's like a rite of passage thing, and if you aren't a killer, then you're not a ruler, you're not a leader. So I guess the whole thing was kind of like what Gideon says. It's the story that has power. It's not the Darksaber that has power. So technically, what can be done? I actually brainstormed. I was like, what can be done? Can we give the lightsaber back to Gideon and then let her kill him? Because technically, Gideon didn't lose in combat. He yielded, right? I mean,
No,
I don't think you can. I don't think you're gonna unopen that box.
Yeah, it's tricky, but they're gonna do something. He's not gonna. There's not gonna be a face-off.
I mean, that gives us our conflict for season 3. That's the opening shot. I guarantee it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, them on the bridge for sure.
Oh, bye, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul's
See you later,
like,
man.
I can't listen to this. I can't listen to this crap anymore.
Yeah, he says I've done enough weeks of this horrible experience.
It's speculation, always constant speculation.
Yeah.
How pretty is
rumor mongers.
How filthy is that looking?
Good God.
Do you got any cool scorch marks anywhere, on any other pieces of armor?
No, not yet.
Damn, you look like a chimney sweep trooper.
Well, I want to make sure it matches the helmet. Give me just a second. I don't want to overdo it on one piece and not have it match. It's got to match.
Is your helmet? Do you have a 501st helmet?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought you were just gonna be.
I was, and then I got to thinking about it. I was like, I want to be. It was toss up between the red and the blue. And the only reason I didn't do the red is because you have to get red shoes. I've already bought shoes from Evan.
Hey, just spray them red. But no, that's a great choice though, the 501st. Because I saw you posted that, and I was like, oh, Wayne must be working on Paul's helmet.
Ooh.
That's exactly what I thought, because
invite Paul back.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You can't just join back in.
He needs help. This hat is so hot.
I've already
the way.
forgot about him. That's one hot hat, Evan.
Yeah,
Now,
we
Wayne's
could
working
not
on
see-
Wayne's helmet.
Oh my!
Look at that.
I know. Ah, man.
Wayne,
Ooh.
since you've had eye surgery now, do you have to pop one of your lenses out? Yeah.
Wayne is a cyborg. Paul is back. He
Something happened. I don't know. Was
something
it just
happened.
me?
It was just you. We were worried
Just
about you, buddy.
transported to the mirror universe for an episode.
We were concerned that you were just fed up with the show in general, and you just
Yeah,
left.
Paul's all like, I am so done with all this speculation.
Yeah.
Last thing I heard was Gideon can give the saber, and then just all your tiles froze.
Whoa. Yeah. So basically, I think we said that the very next thing we're going to see at the end of next season is going to be all of them on the bridge, waiting to determine how they're going to sort out this whole Darksaber business. Who, because as if of now, Din, the Mandalorian, he is the rightful
Yeah,
owner of the Darksaber.
and potentially the rightful ruler of Mandalore.
So the question is, will Bo
Bo ain't gonna be
continue?
happy about it.
Well, is she going to continue to, become the ruler herself, or is she going to just accept it and say, well, I'm hoping she doesn't, because I feel like if it was her, I would just pick up the saber and, I don't know,
Well, here's
cut off Gideon's head and say, I won. There was no middleman. There was no
here's the
middleman that
thing.
got me.
Since Mando was able to rightfully win it and Gideon remain alive, couldn't they have basically a ritual battle where they fight each other? And then if Bo wins, she takes the Darksaber, and then Din still lives. I think it would be really cool if, like in the first episode, they all go to Mandalore and they go to that big, like the big throne room where you see in Clone Wars and whatnot. Yeah. And then they have like a cool battle there, and then that would be cool to see her either win or lose, whichever way. And then, yeah.
That's very specific.
That's what I'm hoping for.
That's very specific.
I would love to go to Mandalore, like, even maybe like it's in ruins because of the Empire, and it's like open to the sky. Like that would just be so cool to see them battle there.
You're right. It is the Mandalorian, so it wouldn't be too hard to believe they're talking about Mandalore. Why not fly over and see what's up? I guess.
I mean, we saw Tython. We should see Mandalore.
Yeah, there is speculation that season 3 could involve trying to retake Mandalore.
That would be awesome. That would take a lot of, screen time and whatnot. So people are wondering.
That'd be a really good season-long plot.
Right.
Yes.
So we're now at the bridge, and we're getting alerts.
Yeah.
And it turns out the Dark Troopers are back. They're literally like the toy punch, the Rock'em Sock'em, whatever.
I love that. I was like, is there really no better way to go about this than just punching your way through?
I don't know. It didn't take long, and they were budging something. But they get back on board. They use their magnetic feet and whatnot. And that you see them on like the radar, and they're like really far away. It's like, how did they drift out that far before they're like, oh wait, we got to go back? I guess it's a TV show, and
they had to overcome their inertia.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't overcome it
because Star Wars is all about science.
Yeah, it's very very practical. So they get back on board, and they come marching back super slow, like super slow. It kind of reminds you of, episode 1 with all the droids marching. And it's just like, they don't need to be fast. They're just hundreds of millions of them.
they're like tanks, so they don't move very fast.
No, but they just keep coming. And these guys, they were no exception. However, at this point, when they all get back, there's nothing stopping them. They're just walking through the halls, making their way up the elevator, coming out to the blast doors that they've shut in hopes that they won't break it through. And that's when the punching starts. And not long after that, shortly after that, we get, I think, another ding on the radar.
Yeah.
And then-
A lone X-Wing is approaching.
As soon as I saw Lone X-Wing, I was like, yeah, I know who that is.
You know, and I didn't.
I didn't either. My first thought was it's one of the pilots from earlier in the season.
That's my first thought.
I thought New Republic ships were going to start showing up, and the New Republic was actually going to do something other
That's
than
what-
be.
Yeah.
See, what I had thought was when we see those X-Wing pilots, there were always two of them.
Yeah.
Anytime we saw the X-Wings, there was always. We did see that episode where it was just the one pilot, but anytime we saw the X-Wings, it was always two X-Wings. So that's why I was like, one X-Wing. I don't think it's these guys. I think it's
Right.
your boy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Luke Skywalker was the last thing in my mind.
well, it should be because we have no idea if that's who it was yet. So,
They've all seen the episode. They know what happens.
so as you see, you know, as they're watching the monitors, which I love, that's like the best watching.
The reveal was pretty great.
Yeah, as he's walking through the halls, and you're like, who is that guy? Oh, it's a Jedi, and you see the cloak. I'm thinking, at first I thought, oh, it's one of those Republic guys, and it was just one, and then like a couple seconds later, all the rest of them are going to come.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. I saw a cloak. I was like, Ahsoka? And
I thought Ahsoka for a second.
Yep,
But then
because
she didn't have the shape.
well, that's the thing. Even the hood almost resembled the shape. Almost. So I was like, I can't quite tell. It doesn't look pointy. It doesn't look, you know. And then I told Hannah, I'm like, it can only be two people. I said, it's either going to be Cal, because everybody's been talking about how he is the one of the few Jedi out there that is actually mentoring and training other Jedi Padawan. And then I thought it has to be Luke because of the green lightsaber. And
Yeah.
I said, I don't know if it's Luke though, because he's got both his hands. And Hannah's like, no, he's got a glove. And I'm like, it's Luke.
Forgot that he gets his hand back at the end of the movie. He loses it in.
No, I thought I saw flesh. Because I was
Ah.
like, it's either Cal or Luke, and I started looking at hands, and I thought I saw flesh, and then Hannah was the one that pointed out. I was like, no, he's got a glove on. I said, that's Luke. It's absolutely Luke.
He's sticking to the Michael Jackson fashion of just the one glove.
And once you start getting to see his moves, you know it's Luke. He's got that old school, almost like a samurai kind, like a kung fu like thing to him, with his movements and stuff, and his force pushes and stuff. One of my favorite ones was he had the lightsaber in his hand, and he's just like and pushes the guy off the edge. It was good. It was like the, you know, Rogue One ending with Darth Vader storming through.
There has been a lot of comparisons between the two. Not necessarily matching movements, but there are some similarities in the angles, the framing.
For sure.
I mean, Vader was just going down one hallway. Luke had all kinds of stuff he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is similarities.
Yeah.
I love how I crushed that droid into like a ball.
Yeah. The very last one, he's like, yeah.
Yeah, he had to go out with a little flourish.
Yeah. But yeah, it was
Well, it's
one of them.
typical
He
Star Wars
split
fashion,
right
last
down the
one
middle.
always goes.
Wait, what?
In typical Star Wars fashion, the last one always goes with a bigger than everything else. That's
Yeah,
been right before.
something exciting or edgy, right?
Skywalkers have to be dramatic.
It's true. It's true. But dang, it was so cool. But I don't think it was. I was not thinking Darth Vader at all. I mean, every move he made was Luke, man, and it was Luke from Return of the Jedi. holy cow.
Yeah.
And then you get to see, as he approaches the bridge, for sure who it is. He takes off his hood, and it is Luke Skywalker in the CGI flesh.
Yeah, and the very video game cutscene looking,
Yes, very.
fake, awful looking CGI.
It's something. Now Mark Hamill was credited in this episode, and I don't know if it's his voiceover, which obviously it probably was, because that's all he does. Not all he does. That's what he's known for. But also, I wonder if they had him shave a little bit and took some, did some images and mixed it with his old image, so that it kind of, because I don't understand how we got what we got. Like I don't.
It's the same technology they used for Rogue One and they've used in the Marvel movies where they de-age someone.
Okay, so they did de-age old Mark Hamill, possibly.
I think there was, it's definitely, the person on set was not Mark Hamill. That's a different dude in the costume. He had a face replacement.
Right,
or head
and
replacement.
he is obviously, you want someone who's got the body, and today, Mark, you're in great shape, buddy, but you're not what you used to be. So
Yeah, Mark, we know you're listening.
He's in good shape for a 65-year-old man.
yeah, no, he's actually in really good shape, I would say. He doesn't look bad at all. He doesn't look, because Mark, he's got like, he, even as a young guy, he's kind of got like not like a baby face at all. He's kind of got like he almost looks like he's got the face of like a cowboy. I feel like it's like he's seen some things. He's had a few lonely nights out on the plains or whatnot.
He's had a few car accidents.
That, yeah, to the face. But he looks a little, he doesn't look like, I don't know. But what I got out of it was like, maybe that's what they did, is they did some de-aging, and that's what we got. Because you look at some people who've done YouTube videos of deep fakes and stuff, and they'll have the thumbnail of the video will be what we got in The Mandalorian, and then right beside it you get a deep fake version that somebody on YouTube did, and it looks way better, but it's literally a deep fake of Mark Hamill from the 80s. And so I mean, it looks just like him. The only problem is that it doesn't, it's not smooth and as nice as the final outcome of what was on the show, but most people would say, oh, the deep fake looks way more like Luke. They should have used this. And that's what's making me think, well, if they did come up with this, Mark Hamill's still alive. They could have de-aged him. And it's not necessarily like the Tarkin CGI where there was no de-aging in that guy.
Peter Cushing's been dead for a while, so
they have a lot of footage of him. But and but even that didn't. If you go on YouTube, you can find some people who've done deep fakes of that one, and the deep fakes are better than what Lucasfilm came up with, in some people's opinions. But I wasn't too disappointed with the CGI. I thought it was actually a different Luke's, a more mature Luke. Had maybe a little too much fast food, I would say. He's a little fat in the face. But
it took me out of it like right away. Like, I know me and Heather were looking at each other like, does this look bad to you? Like, yeah, it looks kind of bad. So like, I mean, like, I get that they tried their hardest and everything, but to me, it just took me out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, the looks isn't so much. It was more for me the way he talked. He did talk like Luke, but he also talked like someone, like a robot of Luke. It's like he's not the real Luke. It's like a shell of the man. He's instead of having like personality, he was just very monotone. And
That's also kind of what Luke is like at this point.
Yeah.
He is kind of like that in Return, but I feel like even like he has a little passion, and there's like he could say a couple more words. I felt like, I don't know, it was almost like he was what do you call it? He just was short of things to say. I don't know.
My only issue with the effects is the lip sync seemed a little weird. The way his mouth moved didn't quite match the words I was hearing.
And I think I was seeing that as I was hearing the monotoneness, and
that's why it felt like a video game cutscene to me, because it was like, hey, how's that going?
It was just lifeless. I felt like it was just lifeless.
Yeah.
But
when I was watching, I was like, did they recast it? Is this Sebastian Stan? I mean, I didn't know. It didn't immediately jump to me as CGI face replacement.
Yeah.
Albeit I was watching it at 3:00 in the morning and I only had like 2 hours of sleep. So.
I don't know if like what the real best solution there is, if they do a CGI, if they recast it. Originally, when I very first saw the episode, I was like, I wish they would have recasted it. But like thinking back, I'm like, would that really be any better? It would just be like disappointing in a different way. So you're never, because you're just not going to get that same person. There's no way. So you're going to disappoint someone. Yeah. So I mean, I get what they did. And it's like I accept it, move past it. It was cool that he was there.
Yeah. And initially I was like, I don't really want them to use Luke. I want it to be somebody else. I wanted some other option. But it
makes sense.
In watching the episode and the way they presented the story, with him just picking up and walking out with Grogu, if it had been anybody else, there would still be that seed of doubt as to whether or not he's safe.
Yes.
With Luke, we know 100% he is safe. He's where he's supposed to be. He will be protected.
Yep.
That's so true.
Until Ben comes along.
Yeah. That's 25 years from now or 20 years from now.
Yeah.
We don't know
Grogu will be adolescent Grogu instead of baby Grogu.
What were you about to say, Wayne? Wayne? Are you there? Wayne? I thought I heard you kind of butt in and while we were talking, so sorry.
Oh, is that what I'm doing? I'm butting in. All right. Well, don't be the one to butt in.
God, Wayne, you're the worst.
I know.
So before he walks off with baby Grogu, there's this touching scene where, he actually, he sits baby Grogu in the chair before he lets Luke in, and Luke sees him and he's like, come on, little guy, let's go. And Mando's like, he doesn't want to go with you. He's like, he's waiting for your permission.
That was my only issue here, other than the tears running down my face and the ugly crying, was I would have liked something a little closer to the Ahsoka scene from a couple episodes ago. Just give us like one more minute of I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm a Jedi. He doesn't even introduce himself to the group. I mean,
that's what I'm saying, dude. He was He was very quiet, very monotone. I felt like Luke Skywalker, the character Luke Skywalker, would have had more to say. I mean, even if it was just 5 more words, it was just so monotone, so cut. It was just like, come with me. He'll be safe. He has a lot to learn. Bye-bye. No, I don't think he said bye.
I don't know. Maybe it was because he walked into the room and he's like, I just killed a whole bunch of Imperial droids, and I walked into a room full of criminals. Maybe I don't need to linger here very long.
It's true. That's true. He probably needs to get out of there as soon as possible. You're right.
Let's not pick my
who are we to criticize?
He should have.
We are
he
fans on
done,
the internet. That is our job.
We are fans.
He should have done something like the ultimate speech in Jabba's palace. He says, "Greetings, exalted one. I am Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, and friend to Captain Solo." Like, I mean, you just.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
You got to state,
Where was that?
Yeah.
Where was that? Come on. Yeah. But yeah, it was really, really sad because Din takes off his helmet, and you can tell he is he is torn to pieces.
I liked how at first I was like, oh, he's just gonna lift it up. And then I was like, nope, he took it all the way off and he kept it off. It stayed off for the remainder of the
sat
scene.
it on the floor.
Yeah.
He sat it on the floor. And yeah, and baby little Grogu touches his little face. You see his little alien species hand go and caress his 5 o'clock shadow. It was touching, moving. It was great. And it didn't last long. He was really scared too. Poor Grogu. When he put him down, he was holding on to Mando's leg, and it wasn't till R2D2 came around, and he's like, "Huh, what's this?" And he kind of got excited and started cooing, and then him and R2D2 are talking to each other.
I loved seeing R2. That was the best.
R2's like, whatever.
R2 was better. R2 was better in that scene than he was to the entire sequel trilogy.
He looked amazing.
He did.
5 minutes he's in the sequel trilogy.
Yes.
I forgot about it. And this dude, the 5 seconds he's in this episode, it is so good. I mean, it looks like he rolled off of, literally just off of Dagobah. Like he is like filthy and he's not even that filthy, I would say, but he just looks so worn and so good. It's probably my favorite R2D2 I've ever seen.
It made me like whenever I see R2 in like true R2 fashion, it makes me want to like make and have an R2. Like I looked at it and I was like, man, that'd be cool. Like I got instantly jealous of all the 501st members we know that have made an R2. I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool to have one of those.
Man, yeah. Yep. And that's it. And Luke picks up baby Grogu like he's a $5 million robot. I don't know if you saw that. He doesn't pick him up like a kid. He picks it up like, okay. But rightfully so. And then they just walk on out, turn around, elevator closes, and bam, season 2 is over.
Yeah. Which we've got a lot of unresolved plot lines.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
we do. We got a lot of answers.
But you know what we got a lot of though? We got gang leader Boba Fett.
Yes.
So if you stuck around after the credits, you would see the most glorious sight ever. Jabba's palace. It looks so good. Like, how did they do that? How did they do that? Did they just use original film to do that?
No, because it was the other direction. Because they showed a different angle of Jabba's palace.
Really, it looked like the one that you see.
No, because if I'm remembering correctly, in Return of the Jedi, you see Jabba's palace, and in the shot, it's off to the right, and then in the episode the Mandalorian episode, it's off to the left. So unless they mirrored that shot, which I don't think they did, I think it was a new shot.
It was just like the palace itself, and everything was so crystal clear. It was like they either remade a whole entire model, like a miniature set.
You don't know how CG works, do you?
Man, and it looks so. I guess
the original was a matte painting, though, wasn't it? In Return of the Jedi, wasn't Jabba's palace a matte painting?
The palace itself from the outside, yes.
Yeah.
Then that might be what this was, because it looked so good. I don't know. It just looked so good and so fresh. I don't know. I loved it. It looked to me like a brushed up,
but
original.
Yeah. Looks fresh in CG.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We got Fat Bib Fortuna was trying to take over Jabba's.
That was so good. I love
We got
that
Bib
so much.
back for
oh my gosh,
about 90 seconds.
He died like the loser he is.
Yeah,
I have a story about Bib Fortuna. When I was probably 5 or 6 years old. I stayed at my mom left me at like a daycare. It was like during the summer, whatever, while she worked, and she came and picked me up from the daycare, and she had bought me a present. It was a Star Wars toy. I was really excited, and she gave it to me, and it was Bib Fortuna. And I looked at her and I said, I don't like this one. And that memory has haunted me for my whole life. And I told my mom, like it was probably a couple of years ago, I was like, do you remember that? Like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, I don't remember that. Who cares? I was like, okay, absolved, I guess.
Yeah, that one was like really haunting you there. Bib Fortuna.
Yep.
Well,
I thought
yeah.
it was funny seeing some people complain, like, how is Bib Fortuna alive? Well, he probably ran when Jabba died, like most people did.
Yeah.
For
Because
sure.
there's several minutes between Jabba dying and the sail barge exploding. So I think most people are like, oh, she just killed Jabba. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty good. He just and you see some Gamorrean guards also kind of thin.
Yeah, they look
The
weird.
Marine guards did not look good.
So I
Yeah.
thought that maybe they took there was like a decision, a creative decision to go and make the really athletic fighters look more slim. But I think it's just what we're gonna get from the Mandalorian series.
I think it goes to show that Bibs aren't running things as well. And they're
Yeah,
not as
they're-
well fed as they were.
Yeah.
That's true. He's eating all the food.
So if
Yeah.
I guess this is like the stormtroopers in season 1 where they're all wearing their barely hanging on armor and whatnot. It's like they're not nice and white and shiny like they used to be. And I guess
Yeah.
people aren't eating as good in the palace. They must not have a chef anymore. Serving frogs or whatever the heck Jabba was eating. Space slugs. I don't know. He's a space slug.
Watching Fennec and Boba stroll in there was just great.
Oh my god. I mean, as Boba Fett's biggest fan, I mean, this season was so good, and that last shot, like, it was everything to me. Like, I just let him sitting in where Jabba sat or whatever, that throne that he sits in. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's got to be Bib's new throne because Jabba,
Yeah,
his ass.
Jabba didn't have a throne.
No, he had a platform.
The throne is on the dais, though.
Yeah, it's on the dais where Jabba laid.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And then it just says the Book of Boba Fett coming December 20th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a new series, and it's coming out around the time that Mandalorian Season 3 series comes out.
Oh
We're
my.
probably getting the Boba series before we're getting Mando season 3.
I love that they're just going in different directions, because like after Boba left in the episode, I was like, I don't really see how he could come back. Like it was very much like they closed the loop with Boba Fett. So I love the idea of Boba doing his thing, his criminal empire, and then Mando over here, being your knight in shining armor.
And I feel like we're gonna see some more Bo-Katan with this
I
Boba.
definitely think we're not done with her yet.
I feel like
for sure not.
I feel like that'll be the next time we see her. It will be, if not in season 3 of The Mandalorian, which it will be, obviously. Well, if our speculations are correct.
Well, there's a couple different speculations as to where the stories are going moving forward. Because we got those spin-off shows. We got The Rangers, The New Republic, and Ahsoka. They both said those are in the time frame of Mandalorian. I don't remember if this was part of the original announcement or if this was something somebody made up.
No, this was different.
This
This
was
was a
different.
surprise.
Well, not the Book of Boba Fett, but that these series, Mando, Ahsoka, and the Rangers, will come together in like an Avengers-style meetup. I don't know if that was part of the original Disney announcement or if that was something I heard somewhere else.
Okay.
But there's speculation that will either involve Thrawn or retaking Mandalore.
Well,
I hope
Thrawn's-
Thrawn.
Yeah,
Thrawn
Thrawn's been
could
talked
be
about
the
so much.
ultimate big baddie that they all have to come together to fight, or it has to do with retaking Mandalore. Or
I
both.
can see that.
All good theories, indeed. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Did any of you guys actually miss the like just stop watching after the credits?
God, no, I never stopped just watching after the credits.
No, I always watch through all of the. I like to watch the concept art, and then I watch all the way through to the actual credits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just so happened to we were watching it, and the baby was just like crying, and so we didn't have time to like change it yet. And then we're sitting there, and then it just comes on, and I was like, wait a second, something's happening. Louise, shh, be quiet. Shut up.
Yeah, I always watch the episodes through until the Disney Plus thing goes down and says, "Would you like to watch this next?"
Yeah.
And I noticed I was watching the episode and I was tweeting out my reactions because I was like, "Oh my God, what did I just see?" And
And then it happened.
and it didn't do the little corner screen thing. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. And it's like the credits are just rolling and I'm obsessing online because that's what you do. And then all of a sudden I'm like, there's more footage playing. What?
Hold up. Yeah, it's a good thing we all stuck around to see that.
Better.
Looking good, Wayne.
I think it looks pretty good to be just filthy, just nasty, filthy.
I know it pains you to have to weather it.
Actually, I'm having fun doing it. I'm actually having fun, mostly because all of the dirt and nastiness is of my own design.
Yeah. Yes. That's what makes all these costumes and kits and troops so much fun. It's because you get to, yeah, you're making a costume that has to be approved, but you do get to put a little bit of your own little personality character in it, which is always fun.
And I still have to weather my entire suit.
That's fun.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
And the animated clones are very, very dirty.
Oh yeah, they are, and they have lots of burn marks and stuff, right?
There's lots and lots
Blaster.
of weathering. There's not a shiny spot on him.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Oh, it's going to be.
Yeah. So, Wayne, did you say that you had something you wanted to mention about maybe something we could learn from you about your trials and tribulations of armor making?
Well, no, I said I was going to fix a piece.
Oh,
You
yeah?
messed up. I did that.
Oh, well, shucks. There you go, folks. In the
What did you screw up?
Did Dremel get too greedy?
No, it's the drill. I should have used the Dremel, and I'm going to use it next time. Both of these pieces, they are the elbows. They've
Yep.
got little divots right here, little holes.
Yep.
What I did was I drilled here, and drilled here. And then as I came across, it slipped and went,
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do is just put a piece behind it, filled in where it was, put that in. I'll sand that down, repaint over it, and then drill this side. And only this time I'm doing the actual Dremel. And I'm just going to make a slit, and then right below it make a slit, and then use these files here to actually make the hole the way it's supposed to be. Because that's what I needed, and I couldn't find them. And I was like, I'll just do it with the drill. I've done it before.
Gotcha. Well, shucks. If you're working on any of those pieces, and I mean, most people that make their kits and they troop and they make costume and stuff, they end up breaking something or ruining something along the way, and you got to bring it back. You got to use what you got. So I know you're one of the best at that, Wayne. But
What,
if you
screwing things up? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I got it down.
But if you do have anything that goes too far along, like if you did need like another elbow pad, that's something I can easily print out for you.
Oh no, this it's plastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like most of us, we make do with what we got, and we'll, if you can make it in the first place, if it breaks, you can fix it. It just takes a little bit more work, and that's all it is. It's just more work. You might have to do a little bit more prep work and stuff, but There's really nothing that you can't fix. All you
Short of
out there.
melting it down, there's nothing that can't be fixed.
that would be very unfortunate. You melt it. Melting is bad once you bring that into play. Well, did anybody have anything that they wanted to recommend this week? Oh wait, before we go,
Mhm.
we could just real quick. This year, 2020, it's been a slow one, for lack of.
One way of putting it.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. It's been a slow one. And
We could accurately describe it, but it would earn this episode an explicit tag.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll save that to the very end so we don't get flagged. But not too many troops this year. I think maybe a handful. Literally a handful.
I think I managed 3. There was the 2 cons and then the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All year and any other normal year. I mean, you would be
We'd have at least
every
10.
other weekend, right?
So
Generally,
sometimes, yeah. Sometimes there's certain parts of the year where it's every weekend. Like typically April and August are always really busy
Hmm.
with like ball games and things.
Yeah. And with all the Star Wars mania going on, it's more mainstream and more people are wanting to just have it everywhere.
Yep.
People want it to actually pull people in. When people see the Star Wars characters or they know that they're going to be there, it's like, oh, let's go there we could take pictures of the Star Wars characters and stuff.
Yeah.
That's super cool that we could do that. And then for us, it's just, we're having the time of our lives, dressing up, playing dress up. But I wanted to, I had,
Say there was a reason you brought this up, right?
wait, what was I talking about? Oh, I was going to say that, we didn't really have too much going on this year. I was going to kind of do like some kind of a recap, but there really wasn't much. I mean, we had Mysticon at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Big Lit.
Just in Big Lake
Big Lake and Mysticon basically back to back.
in February.
February and beginning of March. We were supposed to have everything fell apart the weekend we were supposed to do the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yep,
Yes.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was the one of the last ones up until the I forgot where we ended up going, but we had the backpack.
Yeah, that was
drive-thru.
in Martinsville area
Something like that,
because
and
that was done Sean and Adrian's way.
that's right, and that was pretty awesome. I actually went as a TIE pilot, what you call it, reserve, and my stinking belt broke in the car while I was yanking on it, and so I didn't dress out. It was kind of depressing. It literally would have been the only other time I would dress out this year, because I did not make it to the Halloween spectacular that you guys went to at the farm. Is that Lehman Farms?
Yep.
Yes, where it got real cold real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess if you just because you're wearing armor doesn't mean that it's insulated too good. It's
Nope.
probably just plastic on you. Like
Yeah.
It probably made it even colder somehow.
Yeah,
I might as well have been standing out there in spandex.
yeah.
you were
Which I
standing
was.
up here in spandex.
Yeah, you were just with
It's-
patches of plastic all over you.
What happens is the plastic gets cold, and because it's pressed against you, you get colder,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the wind just blows right through you.
And like last year, we did have around Christmas time the Toys for Tots and stuff like that. And then we had the premiere, obviously, of the Star Wars movies. No Star Wars premiere this year. It never was planned to be. But yeah, it's been kind of a slow year for trooping. And hopefully next year we'll get back into it. And we'll start seeing more costumes, especially all the new costumes we got from the new series.
Yeah, several of us will have new costumes by the time we do our next troop, probably. I mean, Paul and Wayne both. I know Heather's working. We're going to be working on a realistic Mandalorian Bo-Katan here in, a short few months.
So cool. Yeah, and I'll have my gunner helmet, hopefully. We'll see. Will I ever be a gunner?
You already are a gunner just by birth.
The world may never know. Yeah, I guess so.
I still need to sell mine. I'm trying to sell the Heather's current Bo-Katan kit.
Yeah. Yep. It's not an easy thing to do. Yep. So I wish you the best, my friend.
And no bites yet. We'll see. Probably keep having to drop the price. You know how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is. But, this year didn't have too much going on. So I guess our recap really wasn't much of a recap at all. But, we did go a couple times despite all of the pandemic going on. However, we definitely were not trooping during any of these super crazy times.
Yeah, the summer was kind of a bust.
It really was. It was. We had one picnic.
Yeah.
Don't want to forget about that. We did have one picnic, which was at a park. We all sat, under a shelter outside, picnic tables, masked, and we all brought our own food and just
properly distant.
Yeah, we just talked to each other. It was almost like a couple to a table. Or just not a couple. And then that way it wasn't like mixing any of those COVID, whatnots. But it was safe. It was fun. We had a good time. I wanted to recommend something really stinking cool. I noticed one of my favorite YouTubers had he has a Jabba's Palace, I think is what it's called. He does a lot of Jabba related prints, and he found 3D prints, and he found a Kickstarter about 4 years ago that was called Skull Wars, and this project was a Kickstarter to design 15 different skulls of creatures in the Star Wars universe. Super cool. And the different skulls that they have are cleverly named to avoid copyright infringement.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got the Wise skull, which is
Yoda.
A Yoda skull. This is also fully articulated.
Interesting.
Wow. It's very cool. So you've got the Wise one. You've got the Nomad skull.
The world is that?
That is a Tusken Raider.
Okay.
We have a bounty skull.
Oh, that's cool.
What doesn't make any sense? The antenna are part of his flesh, not his skull. They're not bone.
It's artistic license.
He's an alien. You don't know what's under there.
They could be bones like little fingers.
This is one of my favorite ones. It's called the Cozy Skull, and I think you'll know why once you take a good look. It's a tauntaun. Get nice and cozy inside a tauntaun.
Yep.
I would love to. I'm going to print this one. I mean, these files are $6 on sale right now. And you can print them to any size. I'm going to print one of these and hang them up on my stinking wall. But then we go on. We've even got a Yeti skull.
Nice.
We've got a lizard skull.
Nice.
We've got oh man, this is one of my favorites. A pig skull. Look at the back of the head on that one. It looks freaking awesome.
Wow.
Cool.
We've got, this is, we were just talking about him. Bumpy skull bib Fortuna. He's got the knots all over his head, and he's got the sharp, pointy teeth.
Looks like Jeff Peterson.
That's not nice. Look, and then this is one of my favorites. You can print this one relatively small, and it'll be to scale, and it's called the Jester skull.
That's cool.
This one is probably one of the most popular ones that they have because it's so freaking cool. The Rancor skull.
Oh yeah.
And the guy who did this YouTube video printed a full-size one about this big.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not even full size, but this big is pretty awesome. Next we have the bear skull. Not a Wookiee, but an Ewok. This is another good one. Holy crap, they're just so good, man. The Guppy skull.
Oh, that's cool.
He's even got like the little teeth, like a little fish would, like fish bones. Now, this one took me a while to figure out.
Wait, that Guppy one, would you say it's correct?
Oh, it is. I mean, it's all art. It's all artwork that's done. But I mean,
Well then, it's a map.
But I mean, they look really good. Like this. I mean, if you print it out of like a white or something, and then you paint it real good and dirty it up, it would look so good. All right, see if you guys can guess this one. It took me a while, but I figured it out. The Speedy skull.
That's
Boba?
Sebulba.
That's a Doug. You got it.
Huh.
An especially dangerous Doug.
Yep. And we got two more. This one is really nice. I don't know why they call it the Creepy skull, but I saw another called the Creepy Cloner.
Ooh.
So the clones,
Yeah,
the cloner
Kaminoans.
guys. Yep.
Kaminoans.
Kaminoans. And last but not least, I want to print this one and put it in my dental office because who does not want the severed head of the silliest Gungan
Oh my
in
gosh.
Star Wars? You can have a Gungan. How you like them eyeballs, Wayne? Now, does that make sense?
I gave up after the Greedo one, so
And look at the ears.
Wow.
yeah, I gave up because bone ears. That you can tell by the way he flips around and they're smacking people in the face.
Yeah.
They're just taking them out.
That's why I do like the baby
There's some
Yoda.
bone.
I do like the Yoda one. It doesn't have, ears. But yeah, some of these they're aliens, so we don't know what the heck they would have. But dude, I would love to print all of these to scale and just have them going up all around my closet. But I thought that was pretty exciting. If you are interested in any of these, they're available at 3dktoys.com. I don't know. Is that backwards or can you read that?
No, I can see it.
Okay, cool. It's backwards on mine. So really cool. And they're on sale right now. You can buy every single one of them as a kit for $65.
It's not bad.
Or you can buy them in little patches for like $15. These are all like Jabba's lair. This is all maybe Empire. First one.
I'll give you a human skull and say I've got the skull of Jango Fett.
Yeah, well, they this company, the 3DK Toys, what they specialized in is skulls, and they actually started off doing animal skulls. So these guys, they make very, the most accurate 3D models of every species you can think of, like alligators, antelope, anteaters, all the A's, animals. He's got them all. So these designs are based off of real designs or people who have made real designs of actual skulls that exist, and they kind of turned it into this. So I think it's a neat little project. So I'm gonna definitely be getting some of those with my Christmas money, and who knows, maybe you guys will get a little skull for Christmas. Not full size, sorry. You're gonna have to pay for that. But did anybody else have anything else that they wanted to mention before we get off of here?
Read the Marvel comics because they're really good, especially the Darth Vader comics.
Yeah, support your local comic book store.
Yes.
Absolutely do that.
I recently got the 4K HDR remastered Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies, and I just finished Fellowship of the Ring today. That is a treat.
Would you start it last week?
I actually started it yesterday, and I watched the first disc yesterday, and I watched the second disc today of the first movie. Because you have to watch the extended editions, of course.
Wow, that's awesome. That sounds like a good one to get into.
Extended edition of Fellowship only.
I feel like Two Towers has some good stuff in it.
Two Towers is great.
And then one of them, I think
It's a
it's
whole different podcast where Paul goes off on a rant on the Two Towers extended edition being garbage.
Well,
yeah.
if we ever run out of Star Wars to talk about, we could probably.
We're about to run out real quick. So
No, hopefully things will change, and I don't know. I might have to. I'll have to get creative here for the Squadcast.
yeah.
I'm talking around. I'm trying to get some more suit ups for any members that are interested.
I still need to do my Boba Fett one. That should be with Boba Fett being popular now.
I didn't even think about that. I'll give you $20 to do it, dude.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's just
I'll sponsor you.
I'm like, is it worth being yelled at and like being berated because I'm the worst person to suit up?
Please include all of it too.
Like,
I want to hear.
You don't have that sound. You don't have sound running through that portion. You do a voiceover,
That's
music
true.
over it.
Oh no, you can still see it though.
All of a sudden, she smacks me upside my head.
Yeah, Wayne muted himself to curse and scream as if he was Evan's wife. So. But all right, I guess if that's it, guys, it's been a one heck of a year. But just because it's the end of the year doesn't mean that we're through, and that's pretty crazy, guys. I mean, in February we're gonna have been running this show for a year. That's pretty cool. I'm glad we stuck with it. Thank you guys for sticking with it. All of you have been here for every single episode. So, not only that, but like if we hadn't been doing this, I feel like a part of me would kind of have collapsed in on itself, because when I met you guys, I got so excited about the possibility of.
Then you got to know us.
Yeah. When I first met you guys, I thought one thing, and when I got to know you, I thought something totally different. But no, I really I love coming on here because honestly, I feel like I wouldn't see you guys.
That's okay.
I didn't
crush,
mute that.
literally crush me.
I'm listening. I forgot I didn't mute that out. Sorry.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys hopping on here and doing this.
No, I really like the fact that we've been doing this for a year, and we're doing it like a Zoom thing. How innovative!
Well, I would love to get together in the future studio there in Evan's house if he's still gonna go for that.
Oh, he's still gonna.
In the meantime, this will do. But if it wasn't for the Squadcast, I have a feeling that we wouldn't see each other hardly at all. And so it's good to get on here and to stay in touch with you guys. So I appreciate it. And we're gonna go back. Yeah. I mean, you guys are the best.
Hopefully we can get back in person at some point next year. Once the last one of us gets 1 week after the last one of us gets the second round of vaccines, then we'll be back in person.
Right. Yeah. The second round. Has anybody had their first?
No.
Okay.
I don't make that kind of money.
What do I look like? A politician? Come on.
Yeah,
Of the four of us,
yeah.
Hathead there would be the one to get it because he lives in Salem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But
well,
you're not.
I live on the dirty side of Salem, though.
You're not a health worker, so you're last on the list.
Oh, I'm at dead last. Heather's probably going to get it way before I do because she's a teacher, and I think they're planning on teachers are going to be like the second to last wave.
Well, when that day comes, we'll all get back together safely and we will record in person, which will, I mean, we only had one episode in person. So hopefully this was just, like Wayne said in the beginning, it's good practice.
Yeah. By the time we get back in person, we'll be like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, the Ro Jogan will be just like him.
Yeah, we'll be the Ro Jogan Star Wars podcast.
Let's not.
Yeah, no.
Let's aspire to that.
not.
No, if you were to follow any podcast or any or YouTube channel, you would notice that this does not resemble the JRE at all. It mostly resembles. This is just a test. I tested Adam.
Well,
Savage's-
if this were like the JRE, we'd be recording inside of a submarine tube somewhere with
right, yeah, in Texas,
emergency lights. Yeah.
submarine in Texas, yeah. So, anyways. That's the podcast for this week. So for all of you that want to follow us online, check us out on Instagram. You can also listen to the Squadcast on Spotify, Apple Music, of course. Oh yeah, the gun show right before we go. You get the gun show. And check us out on 501stlegion.com if you want to get involved. No troops right now, but if you start on your costume, by golly, by the time you're done, maybe we'll be back at it.
Yeah, and by all means, if you're a new member and building something, contact any one of us.
Absolutely, that's what I did. Go on Facebook, find us, say, hey, you guys, I wanna come join you. I wanna work. I need help. Anything you need, we're here for you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for a great year. And here's to another one.
Dirty Tone.
Peace out.
Goodbye, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
Life Day.